with these young men. They only have one senior this year, and losing your starting scorer in Derek Mount last year, it's a big thing to overcome, and they've done well so far.
But what you mentioned Derek Mount, who they lost last year due to graduation. But Derek is on staff, volunteer staff here at Traders Point. So he takes that experience and transfers that over to these young men.
He does that, and that's a great addition for Coach Cox's coaching staff is Derek Mount. He was one of the top leading scorers the last couple of years for the Knights, and now he's up there as an assistant coach to spread his wisdom to these young men. And again, they only have one senior and only two. No, hold on. They have a handful of juniors, including Tobias Grant and Matthew Maxey.
And a Tobias Grant young man, he's averaging almost 21, 22 points a ball game. So you need Tobias Grant in your lineup.
Yeah, Tobias Grant and Philip Moran are two of the big must-haves for Coach Cox heading into today's game against Providence Cristo Ray.
And you look at Providence Cristo Ray, they've got a brand-new coach this year in Jeff Strange, who was at Shortridge last year.
Yeah, and again, I think that's part of their coaching change was a big part of their drop-off. But it's going to be a very interesting game, Bill.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back on Traders Point Christian Radio.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Welcome back to Traders Point Christian Academy. Bill Ludlow, Justin Griffith with you as we have the Traders Point Christian Knights, the home team, taking on the Providence Cristo Ray Wolves, the visiting team. And Justin, just as I was ready to read off the starting lineups, they shut the lights out on us, buddy.
Yeah, they did. That is something and they have just announced something that Coach Cox talked to us at the beginning is a manager last year. He didn't want to manage this year. He wanted to play, and he is getting his first start here tonight.
And that's going to be number 21, Dylan Campbell Jr. The starting lineup for the Wolves is number 11, Jason Johnson, number 12, Cody Freeman, number 23, number 13, James Holmes Jr., number 15, Malcolm Chandler, and number 21, Anthony Hayes. Now the lineup for the Knights, number 1, Tobias Grant, number 2, Cooper Simmons Little. Number 4, Jaden Thomas. Number 10, Albert Pope. And we've already talked about it. Number 21, Dylan Campbell Jr. getting his first start tonight as a varsity. What a big thrill for that young man.
I can say this, being a manager, you worked with him all year round, and now that you're a player, you already have the jitters to be starting in your first varsity game in one of the last 2 regular season games of the season. You know, his adrenaline has to be sky high, Bill.
Yeah. And the opening tip, and it goes to the Wolves from Providence Crystal Ray. They will be going from our right to our left. Now they get it down to Hayes. Goes up, shot, and good, A.J. Hayes. Just like that, the Wolves are up 2-0. Little, down low, ball's tipped, stolen by the Wolves. Some of the keys to the game tonight, and there goes Johnson in for 2. Coach Strange, Justin, said that, you know, they've got to take care of the ball, and if Traders Point goes on a run, they're going to have to learn to get back quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be, and for Coach Cox, he just wants his team to play fundamentally sound basketball. They played a little sloppily on their first possession, turning the ball over. This one, they get a draw or a foul drawn on them. I will say this, though, what Providence Crystal Ray hasn't going for them is the fact that they are a bit taller, so the size advantage goes to the Wolves.
And these 2 teams have common opponents that Traders Point is 3-3 against common opponents, whereas Providence is 2-5. There was a shot by Campbell. It was blocked. He was going for the home run shot there, Justin.
Yeah, and it was a good look. It just got blocked. And that size of Providence Crystal Ray is showing early as they got up 3 straight baskets on Traders.
That last shot was by Johnson. Grant has it now. And we talked about how he's averaging almost 21 points a ball game. Campbell to Grant. Back to Little. Get it down. Grant got his man in the air. Shot no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Outlet pass.
As Grant couldn't connect on that lay-in, Crystal Ray, on the other hand, goes coast to coast on the transition bucket.
Malcolm Chandler. And like that, Coach Cox is going to have to take a timeout, a 30-second timeout. And Justin, with that 30-second timeout, we'd like to give some shout-outs. First to Daniel Leaf. He's watching from Attica, Indiana in Fountain County. He is the father of the athletic director, Paul Leaf, and a big Knights fan. So don't miss a game of Knights basketball on IndianaSRN. Also, Paul Williams, head of the school, and Phyllis Williams, the first impression team. Thank you for your continued support of Traders Point Athletics. And I got to talk to Paul Leaf because I am also from Fountain County, and when I found out that Paul's father lived in Attica, my father worked in Attica before we moved to Indianapolis. So
wow,
I'm real familiar with all that area down there.
Yeah, the Red Ramblers of Attica.
Yes.
I got to see them in football this season when they took on Frontier. Good team.
Jaden Thomas puts the first 2 points in for the Traders Point Knights.
And that was a good timeout by Coach Cox. You know, draw up your play, allow them to get situated defensively, and stop the scoring run. But a quick 3 by Providence Crystal Ray, and it's back to a 9-point game.
Cody Freeman. And now we're going to get a block foul on A.J. Hayes. And if it is, that's going to be his second foul. And when I talked to Coach Strange before the ball game too, Justin, he also mentioned about how they lost a lot of their a lot of players due to graduation last year. So a lot of these players for Providence Crystal Ray right now are young and I guess maybe a little inexperienced.
Yeah, I mean, that has some things to do with it, but also, once again, we talked about the height advantage Crystal Ray has. They only have 2 players on their varsity roster not 6 foot, while Traders Point on the flip side only has 1 or 2, 3 players that are at 6 foot or higher.
Johnson to Holmes, back to Johnson, and a travel on Johnson. Nice defense set up there by Amari Justice, number 3, who's been inserted into the lineup now.
Yeah, and Amari Justice has been one of those players all year that if you need a spark off the bench, he'll give it to you, but he also plays smart.
3 by Grant, and it hit the side of the iron and no good. I was supposed to have Traders Point the other night against Greenwood Christian. There's a steal by Grant, and he'll take it coast to coast and put his first 2 points in. But due to the weather and, everything, the ball game got canceled. I asked Coach Cox if they think they'll make it up, and he says he doesn't think so this late in the season and there's a pass to Simmons Little.
And that was Matthew Maxey, who had it at the volleyball line and threw it straight on a line to Cooper Simmons Little, who was able to turn and lay it in. And now, Bill, all of a sudden, the Knights are only down by 4.
Yeah, they took off. The Wolves did pretty quick, got off to a quick start. But, again, like you mentioned, Coach Cox called a timeout at the right time.
Yeah.
And, reset this thing for the Knights, and it worked,
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I think Coach Cox, even though it's going to be another below 500 year for him coaching-wise, which, you never want to see.
Right.
But this team, I saw them against University. They played so hard against University. It made me so proud to see them after doing so many games with them last year. And, yep, you're going to get a hand check foul there. But they never gave up. They were down by 20 points, and they cut that deficit down to single digits at one point. So,
well, as long as we've covered Traders Point, and I think that's an excellent point that you made there, Justin, that, no matter what team you had what year, there's never been a quit on the Traders Point Knights.
And again, you can see Coach Cox instructing his big man, you got to grab, go through the ball when you go up for a rebound. You can't just try to poke at it, because when you do that, you get the situation where you're at now where.
Oh, now they called the foul. The foul was on the Wolves. So the ball goes over to
I thought they were going to have it. It's going to go against Johnson for the Wolves. And now a palming call. And
so So let me ask you this, Justin. You know, you've got normally a Friday night, and here comes Hayes. Shot no good. And your varsity usually doesn't play till 7:30. You're playing at 6 o'clock. Is that going to throw timing off maybe?
Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, most of these guys this year that's on varsity were on JV last year. So, I mean, while this year you're used to playing at 7:30, the 6 o'clock is not an odd time slot for at least the Knights. Can't really speak for the Wolves, but I would assume it's the same situation.
Amari Justice gets the rebound on the miss, and he missed. Holmes to Johnson. Here come the Wolves now. To Freeman. Little 15-foot jump shot. Tip, no good. Freeman back up, no good. And now they said it's out of bounds on the Wolves.
I thought that was off of Cooper Simmons Little.
And so did Cody Freeman of the Wolves. He's looking at the officials like, you know, I thought their guy touched it, but these officials doing a great job.
They are, yeah. They've been really allowing these kids to play and keeping the game flow moving as we're, under 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter already, Bill.
And it's still 11-7, the Wolves. Justice. Travel.
Yep. It was a good pump fake by Jaden Thomas. He just lifted his feet a little too much, and the side ref called it immediately.
So we're under 2 minutes to go. Now we're going to get a bump, and I believe it's going to be on number 11. It's going to be on Matthew Maxey. And Malcolm Chandler goes to the free throw line for 2, and he sinks the first one. And that, 12-7 now, that's our first point, Justice, in the last probably couple of minutes.
Yeah, both teams have been a little sloppy at times and good defense at others. But, yeah, that's the first points in a while for either team. And really, since it was 8-2, and Cristo Ray hit a three-pointer and make it 11-2. So Traders Point was on a nice little 5-0 run before those two free throws.
Now we got a foul. It's going to be on Amari Justice, and that's his second foul. Philip Moran, number 12, checks into the Knight lineup with 56 seconds to go here in this first quarter. And a 6-point lead by the Wolves. You're watching Knight basketball right here on IndianaSRN. Hayes, shot, no good. Ball's tipped around. Outlet pass to Maxey, and it's too long, out of bounds to the Wolves.
Jaden Corey, who just checked into the game for the Knights, led Maxey just a little too far. And if he brings it, and they're laughing about it now, you bring that short a little bit, and that's an easy 2 points for Maxey.
Johnson. Picked up by Moran. 20 seconds here in the first quarter. Hayes over to Holmes Jr. And they're working on taking the last shot here. And here's a three. No good. And we got over the back on the Wolves. It's going to be on number 13. James Holmes was called for the foul, his second. 3/10 of a second to go. Catch and shoot.
I'm like,
or catch or no shoot.
Yeah, it was a little difficult with 3/10 of a second. You basically had to get a tap shot. And
well, that brings us to a close in the first quarter with a score. The Wolves 13, the Knights 7. You're watching Night Basketball right here, powered by IndianaSRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Welcome back to Traders Point Christian Academy. We are in the gymnasium on the campus of Traders Point, ready to start the second quarter with the Knights down 6, 13-7. And they have the ball, and Grant over to Moran. And we are underway in the second quarter. Early start here on the IndianaSRN network. We're early enough that we'll get our ball game in. We'll head home, and some of our colleagues will just probably maybe approaching halftime of their game.
yeah. As this one is going to go against Philip Moran, his first, team's fourth.
And Malcolm Chandler goes back to the free throw line for the Wolves, 4 points on the night. Last time he was at the free throw line, 2 for 2. And now the young man stays perfect at 3 for 3. One more shot.
Jinxed him, Bill.
I put the broadcast jinx on him, Justin. Thomas, three-pointer, Jaden Thomas.
That ball did not look like it was going in off of Thomas's hands from the start, but somehow finagles its way in, and it's back to a 4-point game at 14-10.
Freeman to Holmes Jr. Back to Freeman, working against Maxey. Johnson. And James Holmes sinks a three-pointer.
Okay, as we will see the last three-pointer. And again, wide open shot was Jaden Thomas. And again, that was an ugly-looking ball, but it goes in. I mean,
the end result, you want it to go in. Ball went out of bounds off of Thomas of the Knights and out of bounds to the Wolves. 6:38 to go here in the first half. And the Knights are down 7, 17-10. And again, the ball tipped out of bounds off of the Knights. And the Wolves will maintain it. Comes a trap of Hayes in the corner. Falls down. And there is the traveling.
yeah, travel before the timeout. And I mean,
Coach Cox looked at the one official and was like, that's travel. Then the other side guy ended up calling it. But Good teamwork by these officials. Grant, and there's a travel on Tobias Grant. Our varsity officials tonight are Terrence Craig, James Savior, and Bob Storms. Great job, fellas. But if you go to ask any fan, they're probably going to say, well, I don't know. Yeah. And the ball out of bounds to the Woods.
These three officials and all the Indiana high school officials, you know, there is no love lost between them and the fans, but the Indianapolis Star, I believe it was the Star, ran a very interesting article about the Purdue Boilermakers, Michigan State Spartans, and IHSAA officials. Basically, the Cliff Notes version of it is that and we'll actually get back to that on the other side of this break. You're watching Knights basketball on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back on the campus of Traders Point Christian Academy. I'm Bill Ledlow, Justin Griffith with us.
All right, and as we were getting ready to discuss it, going into the break, the story ran by the Indianapolis Star was the fact that two IHSA officials were in Lafayette getting ready, or one was painting a room, the other one was in line to buy tickets for the Purdue-Michigan State game, but because of the weather, the assistant athletic director calls them both up, and they were forced to to ref a Big Ten game. Now, Purdue ends up winning the game, but both head coaches were just like, I know you're high school officials, just let us play a little bit, that's all we ask for. And both coaches said that they didn't remember a bad call on either side, and that's been about 50 years now, Bill.
Yeah, great article. There's a three by Hayes, no good. But the other officials, like you said, had gotten stranded up in Kentland, Indiana, due to the snowstorm.
And it was just ironic that Purdue and Michigan State played Tuesday night after that big snowstorm.
Yeah. And B.J. Johnson puts his another 2 points. He's got 6 for the night. And now it's up to a 9-point Wolf lead at 19-10.
Tobias Grant, for whatever reason, picked up his dribble on the back court and then almost started to walk with it and threw the ball away.
So in the first quarters throughout the year, this year, Providence averaging 8.5, Traders Point 11.6. And what a drive by Malcolm Chandler. And now it's an 11-point lead. And Grant lost it again. Freeman, no good, and Little with the rebound. And bodies everywhere. Hayes picks it up. Outlet pass to Freeman. Tipped away. That's a hot potato out there, Justin. Nobody wants that one.
And traveling is the call, as traveling double dribble.
Now we got the officials coming over because one of them says double dribble, the other one said travel.
No, excuse me. One was saying bobble.
Oh, bobble, okay.
And the other one was saying that Jason Johnson traveled with the ball.
But here's the thing. The other official, the third official, comes over and says, no, Coach Strange got the timeout called before anything else. So the Wolves will maintain the ball when they come out of this 30-second timeout. So
my goodness.
what a turn of events right there.
That is, again, we were talking about these officials being so good tonight. That is one of the ones where good communication all the way around and you get the right answer.
Right. And, you know, and going back to the article you were referring to, both Michigan State and Purdue coach said, you know, we know you're used to calling high school games and calling it tight. Let them play a little bit tonight.
Yeah, and these officials must have read that article and are allowing this as well, because this has been a physical type of game, but not overly physical at the same time.
Three-pointer, no good. Grant with the rebound. Grant takes it coast to coast, misses the layup, and now the Wolves are on the transition to the other way. And there's a travel.
That's about the third time that Providence Crystal Ray has placed a body part on the floor and then has moved said body part, Bill.
Yes.
Easy calls by the officials when it happens like that.
Looks like Xavier Gibson, number 5, is into the night lineup. Grant, Moran, and now back to Justice. Shot. Or that's Thomas. Foul was on James Holmes, the number 13 of the Wolves. That's his third foul. So with 3:01 to go, Justin, Coach Strange, you're going to have to take him out. And Thomas at the free throw line for the Knights. And he sinks the first one. And of the 11 points in this quarter, or of the points made in this quarter, all 4 of them have been made by Jaden Thomas. And I give him the broadcast jinx also. So 21-11, the Wolves. Johnson travel. So the basket by Johnson, no good. 2:53 to go in the first half here at Traders Point. And the Knights are down 21-11. There's a steal by Freeman. Shot up and in. Cody Freeman, now 5 points on the evening. And it's pressed by the Wolves.
Has really stymied the Knights. As we get the replay right there again. Nice jumping the lane there, and easy lay-in for Providence Crystal Ray.
Freeman to Johnson. Over to Chandler. Down to Hayes, and it was stolen by Grant. Grant. Back up. Number 24 is Corey. That's B.J. Johnson's second foul. Going to the foul line now is Jaden Corey. 4-2. And he misses the first one.
And with that foul, Bill, that does put the Knights in the bonus. But Jaden Corey was shooting, so he'll get this second opportunity. And free throws have really been the bugaboo for the Knights all season long.
Right now, tonight, they've been there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and they're 2 for 6 right now. Hayes to Chandler. Under 2 minutes to go now here in the first half. And we're going to get a foul on the Knights.
It's going to go against Corey, and again, one of those fouls where if you're Coach Cox, you just have to shake your head because Corey literally had his whole forearm on the player of Providence, Cristo Rey.
Chandler and Corey just picked up his second foul. As Johnson tried to go by him, Corey just bumped him.
And the next foul will put Providence Cristo Rey into the bonus.
Maxey comes back into the lineup for the Knights. Johnson, left-handed shot, no good. Rebounded by Moran. Here come the Knights. Maxey drives the baseline, feeds it to Grant, and he passed it, but Maxey was standing out of bounds. I don't know if he passed it or if it just got away from him, you know.
I think it was a combination of both there, Bill, but at any rate, you had the open layup.
Hayes, back of the iron, no good. Moran, loose ball, bodies everywhere. It's last touched by the Wolves, out of bounds to the Knights. Coming up a little gimpy there for the Wolves is number 11, Johnson, but he stays in the ball game.
I was going to say, let's just hope that's just a floor burn.
Grant, Maxey, Gibson, shot up and in.
Big heads-up play by Xavier Gibson there. He fakes the lay-in and then reverses it as soon as the Providence Cristo Rey defender went airborne.
Johnson, under a minute to go here in the first half. It's a 10-point Wolf lead at 23-13. Freeman, shot, no good. Ball's tipped around. Gibson with the rebound. Gibson on the go, got bumped, and the basket's good. Heads-up play by Xavier Gibson.
And again, Xavier Gibson was just able to get the fast break, and frustration foul by Providence Cristo Rey leads to the and one opportunity.
Gibson with the opportunity right here with 30.9 of a second to go.
And he
went over the line. So another missed opportunity for the Knights. 23-15. The Wolves. Chandler with the ball now. The Knights coming in with a record of 7-12, and the Wolves are 3-14. Now they're going for the final shot as we're under 10 seconds to go here. And here comes a trap, picked up by Thomas, and he couldn't get the shot off. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Providence Cristo Rey Wolves 23, the Traders Point Christian Academy Knights 15. Justin, your thoughts on the first half?
Both teams have played sloppy at times, but in other times it's been a game of runs. You know, it started with an 8-0 run by Providence Cristo Rey, then a 5-0 run by Traders Point to cut into the deficit. And then another big run by Providence Cristo Rey to get this up to a 23-15 game here, finishing off with a 4-point run by Traders Point.
Yeah, you know, Xavier Gibson's the one that brought him back to life a little bit. And we'll see how things transpire when we come back, as it's halftime. The score, the Wolves 23, the Knights 15. You're watching Night Basketball on Indiana, powered by IndianaSRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
I chose Traders Point because it's a great opportunity for me to be able to play sports, have a great academic experience, have a great social life, and do a lot of things that I can't do at other schools.
I went to public school for 8 years and moved here, and you notice a change in the people you meet and the relations that you make with everybody, and the teachers here are awesome. You always feel like you're understood, and they're always more than willing to help.
And I really like how he pours into us individually. If you say after class, you can talk to him about what's going on in your life, and you can talk to them about your faith.
They've been my mentors. They are interested in my life, who I am as a person, and they're interested in seeing me grow and succeed in the best I can be.
Because of Traders Point, like how much it's helped me, I ended up getting a scholarship to Taylor University, a full ride scholarship, so that's a huge opportunity and a huge blessing.
Facilities at Traders Point are phenomenal. I mean, they're brand new. Everything is state of the art. The classrooms they've built from scratch. The sports facilities are phenomenal.
And we're giving our kids any chance that they want to come here and to be able to participate and to be able to compete at a high level.
Kids will spend more than 17,000 hours in school. So who are they going to spend that with? Who will be their peers? Who will pour into their lives? I'm sure most of you can remember some influential teacher or coach that poured into your life. And we want that to be your child's experience here at Traders Point.
Your hauling or moving project has arrived, and College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving has you covered. Honest. Uniformed. Nice. Knowledgeable. Service. College Hunks hauling junk and moving.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to the campus of Traders Point Christian Academy. I'm Bill Ledlow along with my broadcast partner, Justin Griffith, and we are at halftime with the Providence Crystal Warray Wolves with a 23-15 lead over these Trader Point Christian Knights. And Justin, we talked about it before we went on a halftime break, but not a very clean game played by both squads in this first half.
Yeah, they've been sloppy on both sides. It's been more so for Traders Point, and it really started when Providence Cristo Ray started to implement that three-quarters court pressure. But even on their last couple of possessions by Providence Cristo Ray, you saw things start to get a little chippy for a couple of different players. I don't know what is said on the floor, but it'll be interesting to see if that translates into something more coming into the second half.
You look at these ball clubs, too. Providence Crystal Ray, after tonight, they've got, they've got 3 more ball games after tonight. They'll play tomorrow at home against Park Tudor, then the 23rd at Indianapolis Ritter, and on the 26th at Bloomington Lighthouse. For Traders Point, their next ball game after this will be February the 23rd, their last game of the year against Central Christian, whom Providence Crystal Ray has already played. That was their first game of the year, and Central Christian won that one 75-37. So you look at the scoring in that first half for Providence. Johnson had 6, Freeman had 5, Chandler 7, Hayes 2, and Holmes with 3. For Traders Point, Grant had 2, Simmons Little had 2, Justice played, did not score. Thomas had 7, Corey played, did not score, and then Xavier Gibson had 4 points for a total of 15. They scored 7 in the first quarter, 8 in that second, and Providence 13 in the first and 10 in the second. We'd like to give shout-outs again to Daniel Leaf. He's watching from my area, Attica, Indiana, in Fountain County. He is the father of athletic director Paul Leaf and Big Night fans. Don't miss a game of night basketball on the IndianaSRN. And Paul Williams, the head of the school, and Phyllis Williams, First Impression team. Thank you for your continued support of Traders Point Athletics. And we are now underway in the second half. The Wolves shot no good, and the ball went out of bounds, and Chandler had it, but he was out of bounds. And it looked like there was a little chippy between Chandler and Grant. And then at the other end, Matthew Maxey puts his first 2 points of the night in. And that's the way for the Knights to get this second half underway. Johnson had the ball tipped by Grant.
And as we'll see the replay here, just easy being able to drive past all the Wolves and get that lay-in by the baseline.
Chandler Into Holmes. To Johnson, over to Hayes. Now they swing it to the left side. Chandler, shot, up and in, and he'll go to the free throw line. Jaden Thomas is called for the foul. Chandler put in his 9th point of the game. Chance to go to 10, and he didn't. So it's 25-17, the Wolves. Maxey, Simmons Little, over in the corner. Grant throws a shot up. He goes hard to the floor, called for a foul. Tobias Grant will go to the line for 2. B.J. Johnson's called for the foul. That's his 3rd. The team's first here in the second half.
Foul trouble adding up for Providence Cristo Rey. They got a couple of different players with 3 fouls already.
They've got Johnson and James Holmes Jr. And Grant able to connect on both free throws, 25-19. Johnson. Now the crowd's starting to get into it, Justin.
Yeah, and it's a good crowd, and that's packed in here.
Hayes. Over to Holmes. Hayes, Johnson. Freeman for 3. His second 3 of the night. It gives him 8 points on the evening.
And
go ahead,
Jaden Thomas answers right back for Traders Point with a 3 of his own.
And they've cut the lead to 6 now, 28-22. Things are going to start to get a little heated here. Chandler, Johnson. Loose ball on the floor and is picked up by Grant.
And again, the scrappiness.
Go ahead, Justin.
The scrappiness of Traders Point has kept them into this ball game, as we'll see it here off of this 3. Corner 3, wide open, and he just drains it.
Hayes. And stolen by Grant. Grant. Up and in. I think he wanted to slam dunk it, but he thought otherwise. And there's a steal by the Knights. Gibson. Thomas.
And as we get another lay-in, look at this lay-in. Great steal, and yeah, it looks like he started to go in for the dunk, but then thought better of it as he couldn't get the height, and that forces Providence Cristo Rey to burn another 30-second timeout. And we'll take it with them. You're watching Knights basketball powered by IndianaSRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to the campus of Traders Point Christian Academy. I'm Bill Ledlow along with my partner Justin Griffith. And I don't know what was said in that Traders Point locker room, but they come out all guns a firing here in the second half.
They've come out with a fire in their belly that wasn't there in the first quarter. As we get an inadvertent whistle, the referee started a little bit too early. on the full timeout by Providence Cristo Ray. So the inadvertent whistle was due, or the inadvertent horn, rather, was due to the timeout finishing up.
So here come the Wolves. Johnson with it, picked up by Grant. Grant staying right on him, and he forced a turnover. And he sinks it. That is 6 points in this quarter for Tobias Grant. Freeman. Hayes.
And we'll see this again. Easy steal, lay-in, and again, great job by Grant, who was able to get the steal in the first place, and then just beat the now defender in a foot race.
And the Knights forced a turnover. Gibson. You know, and on that steal by Grant on the last possession there for Traders Point, Johnson was trailing Grant. I think he wanted to swat that one away, but Grant had the heads-up notion to let him get in the air.
Oh, my goodness. Sorry, Bill, but Providence Cristo Ray was taunting a little bit, or Jason Johnson was taunting Traders Point a little bit by saying, come and get it. But he already started his dribble, picked it up, and started dribbling again for a double dribble.
Well, there you go. You got to keep your head in the game here, fellas. You know, that taunting has no business here on the court at any time. Maxey for three, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Last touched by Maxey. And out of bounds to the Wolves. Isaiah Kemp, number 23, is checked back in. And Amari Justice comes in for the Knights. Xavier Gibson takes a seat. Johnson, shot, no good. Right back up and in by James Holmes.
And as we get a travel call by Tobias Grant on the head fake, and then he just moves his pivot foot just ever so. Again, both teams with bonehead plays in the last couple minutes, Bill.
30-26 lead for the Wolves. 3:40 to go in the third quarter. Freeman picked up by Justice. Now to Kemp. Over to Freeman. Freeman started by Simmons Little. Johnson. Kemp. Johnson. Shot no good, and Simmons Little went up high for the Knights. Gets it to Simmons Little. Shot no good.
Right idea by Maxey. Tried to reward the big man for making a big-time play. Simmons Little just couldn't capitalize off of it.
Now the ball is out of bounds to the Knights. To the dismay of head coach Jeff Strange as he's pacing the sidelines over there on the Wolves sideline. Coach Cox giving encouragement to his team as Simmons Little lost it as the tip away from Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson was able to just sneak past Simmons Little when he wasn't paying attention to it. And that's an easy turnover, an easy basket there by
Malcolm Chandler. It's back to a 6-point lead for the Wolves. Three by Simmons Little, no good. Maxey. Maxey will bring it back out and reset this offense for your Knights from Traders Point. You're watching Knights basketball on Powered by IndianaSRN. Justice for three. Simmons Little with the rebound. Thomas for three. Got it.
Big time three by Thomas.
His second three in this quarter. 32-29. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Freeman for three.
Answers right back.
And that's his second three in this quarter. Grant. Shot, no good. Rebounded by Kemp. Bounce passes to Freeman. Another three. No good. And they get it up to Grant. Shot up and in. He's going for the and one. Tobias Grant.
As we look back at this big time three, Thomas wide open again. Cooper Simmons Little drawed the double team, and then Thomas kicks it out to Thomas for the wide open three. And we have another 3-point opportunity as the foul is going to go against
Isaiah Kemp, I believe who it was, number 23.
Isaiah Kemp, his second, team's second in the second half, and an and one opportunity. And let's go ahead and see the replay here. And again, great drive by Traders Point. And now we get a chance for Grant to complete the 3-point play.
Cut this lead down to 3 if he can with this by Tobias Grant. He has been on fire this third quarter, and he got it. A minute to go here in the third quarter, and it's a 35-32 Wolf lead. But the Knights have woken up and have come alive. There's a steal by Grant. Grant, drive. Anyway, we got a foul on the floor.
Foul's going to go against Malcolm Chandler.
A.J. Hayes comes back into the Wolves lineup. Kemp will take a seat. The ball out of bounds to the Knights under their own basket. 48 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Simmons Little to Grant. Grant, shot, no good.
Jump ball, possession arrow goes to the Knights.
Nice move there by Grant.
Yeah, followed a shot, able to get the rebound without going over the back and force the tie up.
From a young man that's 5'10", he can get in the air. Grant, Gibson, Maxey, Simmons Little. Now to Thomas. Outside the arc, inside the arc now, in the paint. Kicks it to Gibson. Grant, three, no good. Chandler. And he got back. He got bumped by Gibson.
Yeah, Xavier Gibson looking like what'd he do, but he did get him with the body just a tad. His second, team's fourth.
And Malcolm Chandler goes to the free throw line. He's got 4 points in this quarter.
Missed the first one. That is big.
Chandler's second one. Got it. It's back to a 4-point Wolves lead with 10 seconds to go. In the third quarter, Grant, Thomas for three. Got it! Woo-hoo! What a way to end the third quarter. That's the end of three with the score. The Wolves 36, the Knights 35. You're watching Night Basketball, powered by IndianaSRN.
Cold is just around the corner, and here at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling,
we're ready for anything.
We care about our craft like we care about our customers.
Our technicians are fully certified
and up to speed on the latest equipment.
Available 24/7, we don't leave anybody in the cold.
That's our top priority.
We don't just work for the company,
we are the company.
So we do the best we can for every one of our customers.
Trust the name you know at Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Summers Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We take pride in your comfort. Just call Summers.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Traders Point Christian Academy. And as you just saw the ad for our app, it is great. You never miss a game coming or going. And let's go ahead and see. It is available both on the Apple Store and on Google Play. And again, never miss a game when you have that app. It alerts you when we are live as we get ready to start a very good fourth quarter.
And now they've got to get the clock reset. There we go.
Little bit of problems here the last couple possessions for the clock operators.
And the Wolves have it as we're underway in this fourth and final quarter. Drive by Chandler. Justice. Over to Grant. Now they swing it to Moran, top of the key. Over to Thomas. Drives the baseline, throws a floater, no good. Grant with the rebound, back up and in.
And that just shows how much of a threat Thomas was. They were expecting him to three. He drove, missed the shot, but Grant able to get the rebound and lay it in, and we're back to a one-point game.
Holmes, Johnson to Chandler, drives the paint, throws up a shot, no good. Thomas with the rebound, outlet pass to Grant. As Grant, the door was open, and he went out into the lobby.
I think that was lucky for Grant that door was open.
Underway here in the fourth and final quarter. Johnson, shot, no good. Maxey with the rebound. Outlet pass to Justice, no good. Back up and in by Moran.
And we have our first lead change as the Knights have taken a 39-38 lead.
Freeman for three. No good. Maxey with the rebound, and he bounced it off of
And let's
Holmes.
see the replay that gave the Knights the lead. Missed lay-in, but tip in by Philip Moran. Easy play.
Maxey to Moran. And Freeman. Now to Holmes, trapping him along the sideline, and picked up by Moran. To Thomas. Up to Grant. Grant drives and puts it in. What a finish by Mr. Tobias Grant. It's now a 41-38 lead for the Knights of Traders Point Christian Academy. Bill Ludlow, Justin Griffith. Watching night basketball, powered by IndianaSRN. And it looks like Coach Strange, as Johnson was laying on the ground with the ball, called a timeout. And it is going to be
full timeout. That's all they have left. And we'll take it with them. You're watching Night Basketball powered by IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Traders Point Christian Academy, along with the people that are joining us, Daniel Leaf from Attica, Indiana, and Paul Williams and Phyllis Williams. Thank you for joining us after that timeout. There's a block, and Hayes puts it back up and in. Back to a Knight 1-point lead. Grant goes in. Almost come up with another N1 there, Justin.
Yeah, he did it, but he forced Hayes to bump him, and he picks up only his second foul. But again, chance to add with the clock stopped is Tobias Grant as he makes the first free throw.
So I had Hayes for 3, but it was only his second foul. So, and Tobias with one more. And no good. The Wolves, Chandler, working against Thomas. Johnson, shot no good, and Thomas is going to be called for the foul.
Johnson beat the line shooting for the Wolves. Fouls on Jaden Thomas, his third.
That is Jaden Thomas's third foul. Going to the free throw line for the Wolves is Johnson for 2, and he sinks the first one. He had 6 points in that first half. That is only his first point in the second half. Giving 2 now in the second half, and we are tied at 42. And I believe that's our first tie of the night too, Justin.
It is, yes.
Maxey. Thomas. Justice. Thomas for 3. No good. And Moran with the rebound. Kicks it to Maxey. Thomas. Back to Moran on the far side. And he'll reset this offense for the Knights. Grant almost lost it. Was able to maintain the ball. Maxey. That's Matthew Maxey. Justice to Moran. Moran works the right side. Left-handed dribble, gets it to Justice now.
Big time 3.
Amari Justice. Downtown, Amari Justice hits the big three-pointer for the Knights. And they almost forced a turnover. Here comes that 3 again by Justice.
And again, sitting in that 2-3 zone like the Wolves have all night, it allowed Amari Justice to find the open shot. Now, that was college range there, Bill.
Johnson, shot up and in. 45-44, the Knights as we approach the 3-minute mark. Now we're going to get a foul. I believe it's going to go against Chandler, maybe. Knights. And they had a turnover, and right back up and in by Johnson. And he put the Wolves back in the lead with that shot.
Player control foul against the Wolves.
It's going to go against Johnson. That is his 4th foul.
And Coach Cox is going to call a timeout, full timeout. We will take it with him. You are watching Traders Point Night Basketball here on IndianaSRN.
More fixing, more finding, more being original. Unique like this, trendy like that. More designing this, arranging that. More saving, and then more making it happen. More of your space looking like this, and more of you feeling like that. More excitement, more savings, more furniture, more rugs, more flooring. More affordable luxury from RG Decor.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to the campus of Trader Point Christian Academy. Bill Ludlow, Justin Griffith. 2:50 to go in this one, and the Wolves with a 1-point lead now, 46-45.
And, Bill, we were just talking off the air, how big was that three-pointer at the end of the third quarter by Traders Point, but also how big have been the missed free throws been for Traders Point?
Oh, they've left some points on the floor, and I'm sure that will be addressed next week during practice, if not after the ball game. Grant, shot, no good, rebounded by the Wolves. Outlet pass, Freeman, bobbled, Johnson, back up and in. And now it's a 3-point lead for the Wolves at 48-45. Ball out of bounds off of Freeman of the Wolves. 2:11 to go here in the ball game.
And the side judge, or the side referee there, some fancy moves to allow that basketball to just get between his legs.
There you go. Cooper Simmons Little back in the lineup, and a three-pointer. Amari Justice again for 3. And we're tied at 48. Johnson, under 2 minutes to go in this one. Freeman, Chandler working against Thomas. Screen from Hayes. Johnson picks up his dribble. Chandler throws up a shot, and we got a foul on the Knights.
Question is it going to be on the floor or in the act of shooting? They're going to say shooting.
Tobias Grant was called for the foul. And
now they're
it's on the floor.
Yeah, they changed it to on the floor. Next foul for either team puts them in 1 in the bonus.
Chandler into Johnson. 1:20. The ball's tipped. Picked up by Johnson to Hayes to Chandler. Chandler twists and turns. Lost the ball, and they said it was last touched by the one of the Knight players. Oh, wow. Justin, could we beheaded.
Don't say it, Bill. And that is an offensive foul.
On Hayes, I believe.
It was, yes. Player control foul does not include free throws, but it does put them in the bonus for the Knights.
As we approach the 1 minute mark. And we got a timeout, a 30-second timeout by the Knights. We'll just keep it right here. Set the stage for him here, Justin. We've got under a minute to go here in this ball game, and we have a tie at 48 all, but the Knights have the ball.
And the possession arrow.
Do you hold the ball for the last shot?
You know, with the quirky way that the IHSAA is with no shot clock, you could in theory. I don't think that you do, especially with 1:01 left to go. I think you work for a good shot, good open shot. You don't have to force anything because you know that you go into overtime if you have to hold it for the whole 61 seconds. That being said, if you find a good shot early, take it, make sure you make it, and then get a stop on defense.
Hopefully maybe for an N1.
Yeah.
So now we're under a minute to go as we come out of the timeout.
And that timeout was big because each team has one full timeout remaining.
Grant, Thomas, Cooper, Simmons, Little, Maxey, down to Thomas. He lost it, but he gets it back. Maxey, 30 seconds. Cooper, Simmons, Little. Back to Grant now.
And now they will hold for one, I believe.
Maxey. If you're Providence, maybe with the foul trouble with them Knights shooting foul shots, do you foul them?
I think you do.
Shot no good. Justice backs up and in! Justice puts it in for the Knights, and they take the lead with 3.7 seconds to go. The Knights 50, the Wolves 48.
And here's the lay-in again. Big lay-in to take the lead. Full timeout by Providence Cristo Rey. And we'll keep it here for the last timeout for the Wolves. Hopefully, Bill.
50-48, and what a heads-up play by Amari Justice. The shot was no good. It kind of got tipped around a little. Justice found it, was able to put it back up and in, and hopefully.
And again, here's that full replay there. And again, yeah, Amari Justice just able to cradle it instead of going down like a lot of players like to do. He had the presence of mind to know that there was only like 3 seconds left to go in the game, put the ball up and put the ball literally in the court of Providence Cristo Rey. Now, with that being said, the coach for Cristo Rey has to remind them that they just burned their last time out. They have no more. If Traders Point forces anything that gets them into trouble, you cannot call a timeout or it's a technical.
This is where I think you'd put the pressure on the inbound pass.
And now Coach Cox has just burned his last timeout.
Oh, okay.
It's a full timeout. 3.7 seconds left go in this ball game. Traders Point leads 50-48. You are watching Night Basketball, powered by IndianaSRN.
You got a broken door, trapped car, you can't buy time.
We take it very seriously and take pride in being responsive.
We have all of Central Indiana covered from Martinsville,
Avon, up to Anderson,
to Cicero.
There's always somebody in your area.
It's important that we're able to get there, same day, because people's time is valuable.
On our trucks, we carry just about everything we need to fix a garage door right then and there.
Sunshine, rain, or snow, we're good to go.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Traders Point Christian Academy. 3.7 seconds to go. The Knights with a 50-48 lead. Coming out of timeout. Long throw down the court, and that's the ball game. The Knights victorious. Win number 8 for Craig Cox and the Trader Point Christian Knights.
Crystal Ray had the opportunity. It was the fact that they bobbled it at the last second that forced the three-quarters court shot and the Traders Point win. And we said it a couple of different times, Bill. How big was that three-pointer at the end of the third quarter? Two-point game.
Right.
And my goodness.
That three-pointer was by Thomas that you were referring to at the end of the third quarter that, basically changed the whole complex of this ball game.
Yeah, it really changed the whole complex, not only of the game, but of the fourth quarter, because instead the Traders Point Knights fan base and the players themselves are fired up. They're ready to get out there in the fourth quarter, while Providence Crystal Ray is, trying to figure out why the clock didn't start, and it did, and that's a legit gripe by the Wolves, but, that's the way the ball bounces sometimes, Bill.
Yep, and congratulations to Coach Cox and this Trader Point Knight Ball Club. Tobias Grant had 14 points. I got him in that second half. He ended up with a total of 16 for the Knights. Well, for my broadcast partner, Justin Griffith, for our producer, Casey Pierce, and for Brandon Crawl, we want to thank everybody for watching Night Basketball powered by IndianaSRN. Until next time, everybody, have a good evening. Good night, everybody.